your water is extremely important because you're made up of about 2/3 to 3/4 of water. You drink it every day. And the thing is, God made nature so perfect. He provided us water and the food we needed. And then we humans went and ruined it. We polluted the earth, we polluted the oceans, the land, the skies, everywhere. We left nothing untouched. It's full of pesticides, chemicals, remnants of coal mining, lead, arsenic, mercury, estrogens, and they accumulate everywhere. And it's made even worse when we talk about things like food chain magnification, which is basically the idea that small organisms at the bottom of the food chain come into contact with a lot of these toxins and ingest them. Then larger organisms ingest large amounts of those small beings, and as you go up and you reach the shark or you reach an alpha predator like a human, the food we're ingesting is chock full of this stuff. And the same goes for your water. It accumulates in you. You're not really eating the water didn't eat anything, but it accumulates in you. For example, mercury, half-life of mercury in your brain is about 27.8 years. It's sitting in there. Some stuff can be filtered out by your liver, but not all stuff. And it's not to say it already hasn't done the damage beforehand. So we'll start by talking about hydration through the aspect of water cleanliness, because you shouldn't be drinking dirty water, and it sucks that anybody in the world has to. How do you get clean water? Really, nowadays it's going to require a filter. And there are different levels of filters, and people need to realize this, because a ton of people come up to me and they'll say, yeah, I drink filtered water. And I'm like, oh, what sort of filter do you have? Well, you know, the fridge filter. Or even worse, you know, the water fountain filter. Just because it's a little green dot on there doesn't actually mean it's safe. It's not able to filter out a lot of the stuff that we're worried about because it's either too small or it's not engineered to target those things. Or in the case of stuff like fluoride, it's added to the water after it's been filtered. Now fluoride, oh, this guy's crazy, I'm clicking off this video. Even if you don't believe in conspiracy theories that people are intentionally adding fluoride in order to make us more docile or pacify us, it's still a reality. Fluoride is in the water and it's not healthy at high doses. In moderate doses, fluoride is great. And you know where you can get these moderate doses? Reference video number 1 and number 2, because this is actually video number 3 of a 3-part series concerning diet, supplementation, and then now water and hydration. You can actually get fluoride from red meat and a high quality diet. The problem is in America, a lot of people don't have a high enough quality diet. So maybe they added fluoride so that people could get enough. But if you're already getting enough, and then you're drinking fluoridated tap water every single day, it's too much. And when you have too much fluoride, it's counterproductive. It can actually hurt your bones and teeth instead of help them. And your brain. It can calcify your pineal gland. Your pineal gland is involved in regulating your circadian rhythm, which is your body's clock that controls its hormonal systems and everything. Your sleep, your wake, all those cycles. Your pineal gland is also the source of your ability to feel religious experience. When you feel moved truly by religious experience, that's where. A lot of older people today are getting their pineal glands checked to see if they've been calcified. And a lot of them are fully calcified or near there, 80 to 90%. And they're wondering why, when they go to church, they just can't experience it like they used to. So regardless of how we got here, we are here. And though for maybe a majority of McDonald's eating people in America who are obese, it could potentially be benefiting them, it's not going to benefit a beef eater like yourself. You just don't need that extra. So this is where we come to the best filters on the market, which are going to be distillers or reverse osmosis purification. We've actually got a blog on our website all about this, and it's got our recommendation for a filter. If you don't believe us, even though I'm going to tell you now that we're not sponsored or affiliated in any way, find your own one online and purchase it. That's just the one that a lot of our team uses. There's 2 main options with these filters, over the counter and under the counter, and I don't mean at the drugstore. I mean whether or not it sits on top of the table and you have to fill a reservoir and treat it almost like a coffee maker, or if it goes under and it's in line with your water system so that when you turn the faucet, it comes out of your tap. And then your tap water is safe and you can offer me tap water at your house. But if you don't have that installed, don't offer me tap water. The thing is, the inline ones are a little more expensive, So you can get your hands on a countertop one for about $250 to $300. And I know this may sound like a lot, but it will pay itself off very quickly, especially since you're not having to buy distilled water from the store in plastic containers, which are full of BPAs, BPSs, or BPNs, which are all really, really bad. And it's a lot cheaper. If you're living with other people, roommates, or your family, it'll pay itself off even quicker. This is an investment worth making. Now, another type of filter is the shower filter. The shower filter is important because your skin, the largest organ in your body, like we discussed in the previous videos, can absorb water. If you don't believe me, just do a simple test. Weigh yourself before the shower and after shower. Don't piss in the shower, that's cheating. And you'll see a difference. Now, a lot of people are gonna tell you that I'm crazy for suggesting you drink distilled water or reverse osmosis water. They're gonna tell you that it's gonna kill you if you do that. I remember I had a high school biology teacher who would always go on crazy rants about how we would die if we ever drank distilled water. But here's the thing, at hospitals, they sometimes use distilled water in IVs, and their patients aren't dying, and they're smart medical professionals. Why are they doing that? Well, in that aspect, it's probably because there's some sort of toxicology they're trying to sort out, and they don't want to complicate the scenario anymore. But distilled water, reverse osmosis purified water, i.e. pure water, is not dangerous, for the same reason that alkaline water doesn't actually work. Your stomach is not empty. The water just doesn't go straight into you. It goes through your stomach. There's a lot of acidity there. There's a lot of other contents there, the food you ate, the electrolytes you ate. So by the time it hits your stomach, it's already not pure water. And even if you were to inject it straight in your blood, there's other stuff in your blood that's not just empty in your blood vessels. There's the blood itself, and there's sodium or electrolytes. So you'll be fine. But if you are really worried and you don't trust me, you can do what's called remineralizing your water. And it's probably a good idea anyways, because when you purify the water, a lot of the minerals that would naturally be in it are taken out. And it's a really, really small amount, but it could make a difference. And it also just helps it taste better or to your preference. A great way to do this is you can actually just use salt. So we're gonna talk about electrolytes, and you're gonna understand why salt is just the greatest minerals. Before we talk about electrolyte balance, we want to discuss quantity and how much water you should be drinking. Now, this is just a general rule and a starting point, but about a gallon a day is a safe bet. And then you need to take the onus upon you and test it out and experiment to see what is actually right for you, because it depends on your circumstances, how large you are, where you live, your activity levels, and that could change day to day. So the best way to test this, in my opinion, is to see, did I wake up during the night to urinate? Hopefully you didn't pee yourself in your bed. And then you say, okay, I did. So I'll drink a little bit less water today, or at least not as close to bedtime. Okay, did I wake up too thirsty? Maybe I need to add a little bit more water. And you adjust fire like that. Almost similar to how you'd be telling if you're cutting or bulking correctly. In a cut, you'd want to wake up hungry for breakfast. In a bulk, you might want to wake up not hungry for breakfast and still eat it anyways. So that was just a simple way to figure out how much water you need. And now we'll talk about electrolytes. The best form of electrolytes is just going to be natural salts. And the two main versions out there you're going to see are going to be sea salts and Himalayan salt. Really, all salts were formed by seas at one point or another in the very far distant past. But I'm going to recommend you stick with sea salts and what are coming out of the sea today for processing, because Himalayan salt, for example, has been found to be full of heavy metals and it's not processed in a safe manner. I used to eat a lot of Himalayan salt on my food, and I no longer do it. There's a lot of supplements on the market with Himalayan pink salt in it, and those are no longer safe, and they never were to begin with. We just know now. So I recommend you stop taking those. Sea salt is really, really good. And Celtic sea salt is the one I'd recommend. My friend recommended it to me. It tastes great. So why is salt, natural salts, the way to remineralize your water and the way to get your electrolytes in balance? Well, it's because God made it perfect. It has the proper ratios of all the electrolytes in it, right? There's different electrolytes like potassium, chloride, magnesium, calcium, sodium, etc. It's sort of like honey. Honey is beautifully made, intelligently designed. It's an optimal carb source for endurance exercise. So when scientists were testing to see what's the best carb source for people doing super long bike rides or over 2 hours, they came to the result that a mixture of glucose and fructose in about a 50-50 amount was perfect for digestion and performance. And guess what has that? Honey. And guess what's similar to that, right? Syrup, maple syrup, not corn syrup, not Aunt Jemima's, maple syrup. Maple syrup now, it has about 60% sucrose, which is table sugar, but then the rest is 50-50, so really 20%, glucose and fructose. Optimal. That's why it was in the diet video. That's why it's a part of the animal-based diet. So when you're running or rucking, you want to be really performing well, you could just have 2 to 4 tablespoons of honey each hour, maybe add some salt for the electrolytes, and you're rocking right there. Now, why doesn't our pre-workout, which we talked about in video number 2, have sea salt in it? Well, the reason is none of the manufacturers have it, quite frankly, because they all have Himalayan pink salt. And we're avoiding that. We considered putting it in, and then we learned how harmful it was, and we said it's not worth the risk. But don't be afraid of salt. You actually probably need more of it. Your fat doctor or nutritionist has probably told you that eating too much salt is going to give you hypertension and high blood pressure. That's not true though. In a similar way that cholesterol is not really bad for you, salt is not really bad for you. It depends on if you're predisposed or you're already metabolically unfit. If you're already obese, it's not really the salt that's the main problem there. It's the fact that you're fat. If you got skinny and you had a good diet and exercise regimen, the salt is good for you. It helps you perform well. So most of y'all can use a lot more, and you'll see just how much better you feel. So that's pretty much the simple truth about hydration and clean water. You don't need the prime hydration drink. You don't need the Gatorade. You don't need liquid IV. A lot of these are just full of artificial sweeteners and artificial flavors, fillers, preservatives, and junk that we talked about in the supplementation video before this that are really just holding you back and being counterproductive. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this full series. Let us know what you want to see next. Stay driven, stay disciplined.